Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside the ballpark. My name is NovedPlayer, and welcome to episode 47 of the Noved Nodes podcast, where we talk about many different types of creators and communities inside of the platform. I'm your host, and with me today, I have the community manager and a content creator for SlimeVR, xCirrex. xCirrex, welcome
Hello.
in. Yeah, welcome in. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to, share a little bit about what I do and, the things that I'm interested in. And, this is my favorite hobby, SlimeVR. So, you got me.
No, absolutely. So I guess kind of to kick things off, so before we get into the SlimeVR stuff, so what got you into VR and VR chat?
Well, I'm an avid gamer. This is, just I've kind of grown up doing gaming my whole life. I got, a lot of consoles and all that stuff. And I finally decided, make the jump, get into PC gaming. And I experimented with some stuff. I had some fun with regular PC games. And then I saw, oh, VR is looking like, the Quest 2 looks pretty affordable. This looks like, all right, let's see what you got here. And, I'd been playing a lot of Rust, which, if you don't know, has a very extremely interesting player base. And I was like, I needed a break. I knew I was running a bunch of servers and kind of having fun with that. And it was cool, a lot of good friends. But kind of just got tired of it after a certain point, and I wanted to make a jump into something a little more immersive. And I saw, oh, VR chat looks fun. So I tried it, and I realized immediately, I was like, oh, I kind of want this full body assessing people in vibes, right out the gate. And I was like, oh, that's cool. They got legs. They can move around their legs. That's neat. And I wanted it. So I was like, well, how do I get this? And all I had available, because I'm a gamer, had a Kinect laying around. And I'm like, all right, I want to try this. I want to try this Kinect full body tracking. This is going to be great, right? This is going to be so cool. In fact, it was not that cool. It was a little rough. It was kind of jank. I immediately, after about a week of using that, I was like feeling very limited. I couldn't rotate it around. I couldn't do all the stuff I saw the Vive people doing with my Kinect, excuse me. And I was like, all right, and right at that time, I was just starting to load up my Amazon bin with a bunch of Vives, and then just getting sticker shock at the end going, whoa, that's a lot of money for legs in a VR game. Like, okay. And right at that time, a YouTube video by The Mystical came out, and it was like DIY slimes, and he was like, it looked really cool. It looked very fun, like the project and the whole thing. I was like, wow, I want in on this. This is in my wheelhouse. I like this stuff. So immediately joined the server, was like in the Slime Discord server, like looking around. I got all this, all this stuff ordered that I didn't even know half of what it was. I was just kind of ordering things, let's go, get all the things. And I even got some stuff from Amazon so I can build them early. And this is all before the crowd supply came out, and it was just a very small community of DIY users who were like, just really wanted to have full body tracking. And all we really had back then was like a single tutorial from Noved, and it was kind of a very specialized build, so like not everybody could get those parts. And it was kind of, it was like, what do we do to, what's the simpler way, less expensive? And we had a little like JPEG, just the circuit boards, just like this connects to this connects to that, and good luck, you'll need it. Take this. And so we were building, and so it was like kind of a small community. And when you got your slime stuff, it's very confusing at first. You're like, there's a bunch of wires, there was a bunch of stuff. It was very DIY. Nowadays it's just easy. You just got pre-built slimes. They're just, turn them on, connect them, done. But in those days, just getting them to work, just getting them to turn on, getting the firmware flashed on them, everything was like a kind of a struggle. And so when you get your first slime going, like it took me a few days to kind of get the hang of it. And I got the first slime going, and I saw in the server, we had like it was great. It was like, we call it old flashbang fondly. But it was just like a one-page Java GUI that just basically had the trackers and a bunch of numbers. And it's on my old videos on my YouTube channel, and some of the old ones, I think. And so it worked though. And you'd see the thing come alive, and suddenly you felt like an absolute cyberpunk. I have no other way to describe it. You're like, I've just made a virtual reality tracker with my own hands, and like made it. And once you do the first one, you're just hyped. You got to get the whole set done. So yeah, you stay up late at night. You're just like getting into it. The soldering fumes are bad. You don't want to inhale them. The forbidden incense. But and that was the funny part is like, so in the very beginning, this is all pre-crowd supply, and I realized that like, oh, I want the official ones too. I want those I want the good ones, because mine were janky DIY. They tended to break a lot. I'd have to repair them after doing anything. And reliability is a huge thing. You want to have reliable tracking. So crowd supply. I got my pre-order in on day one. I was like, yeah, heck yeah. And it's funny because this all came about just kind of like open source is another big passion of mine. I love the whole like everybody working together to improve what we're working on. And so when people started coming in, there was devs there, and we're all, we're giving feedback to each other. I became kind of like a beta tester because I had slimes. I had the DIY ones I was building, so I could actively go and try out stuff. Some of the devs didn't have slimes. They were literally just coding stuff for the server, and I'd try it out. Like, go ahead, see what you think, and that kind of started the whole ball rolling. And then at a certain point, I have a friend who's a bigger YouTuber, and big enough that they do it. That's their thing. And they encouraged me. They're like, you seem like you're having a lot of fun, like you should just keep making these videos. And it was a really funny story here is that I made the first few videos, and then I came out with one video, and my best friend Fern, who was I didn't know them at that point, came out with the exact same video about the exact same subject of slime at the same day. And so we're like, oh, wow, that's funny. We were like thinking the same thing. We both need to make a video about this to show this. And we didn't think of anything of it. We had a little DM exchange, and it was cool and everything. And then the next week we did the same thing again, totally independent of each other, just thinking the same. Oh, we should put out a video of this. And then at that point it was like, we should hang out because we're kind of on the same wavelength. And and a really great friendship was born. Like he's become like just he's a world creator and avatar maker. He's multi-talented kind of person, and I like being around people that are creative. And the SlimeVR server is kind of a ground zero for creative people who like technology. They like art. They like a little of this, a little of that. They like, the DIY aspect appeals to a lot of people. It appealed to me. I'm always like, yeah, if you do it yourself, you have that pride of I've made it. I've done a thing. I did it. And that just helps people build themselves up. I like seeing people have that increase of knowledge and increase of self-reliance. It's exciting. It's exciting when you first get into VR. You got your trackers built. It very much is the most jankiest experience in the first little while. You're absolutely. Hang on. For some reason,
post-editor, you know what to do.
I just had to do the quick reset. Yeah. I mean, you don't need to edit that out or anything. This is just how it is. Sometimes you get drift with slimes, and we're working on it. There's a lot of stuff in the behind the scenes where drift hopefully will become reduced and or eliminated in probably. I'm hoping next year. And I know, oh no, like Z, wait, what are you talking about? Well, there's a few things that are going on. One is there's a lot of research being done into enabling which magnemometers, mangometers. Yeah, you can correct me in the comments. Basically, enabling mag, it enables a sensor that detects the Earth's magnetic field, and it can stop drift. So basically I've run it before. A couple of years ago, I was doing experiments. I enabled it on all of my trackers, and I went and I tried it, and it was cool. I have a good magnetic environment. That's what you need in order to have this work properly, is not a lot of metal in your play space, metal chairs, all kinds of EMF fields, from all various wiring in your walls. Your PC itself can interfere with it and cause it to be too much and lose, get worse tracking from it. But there is a lot, like I said, there's a lot of work going on in that, and there's already technology that's out there that has this capability. So I'm it's one of those things when there's more news about that, I'll definitely be excited about it. In another interesting development, so SlimeVR battery is really awesome. It's one of the coolest things about it is these batteries, when you charge them up, they last for like 12 hours on a single charge. So you can be in VR for extended periods of time to the point where like you got to get like extra headset batteries and things like that. I use the Quest 3, Bobo VR, and that lets you stay in VR long, like really long. But there's new slimes that are in the works right now. They're called NRF slimes, or small slimes as we call them. And these slimes are a whole different chip. They use a different frequency. They're more like similar to Bluetooth in that they can work off of a dongle. So you just plug in the dongle, you connect all your slimes to that instead of dealing with a whole bunch of Wi-Fi network stuff. It's just a way more direct, simple experience, which a lot of people really want. The Wi-Fi issues, getting the network issues sorted out can be a little bit of a struggle for some people. Luckily, there's a lot of community members that are very good at diagnosing and helping and figuring out what the issues are. But this will, more or less eliminate that. Another really cool thing about it on the battery side, though, is that these run so low power that you can put a tiny little 150 milliamp hour battery into these, and that when it's charged up, and these are tiny little batteries, like the size of like just like SD chip, not quite SD chips, but like getting down flash memory chips, like in that compact storage range. And those batteries can last an entire month of daily use, like 3-4 hours of like VR every single day. And then, at a month in, you need to recharge it. I mean, this is like kind of groundbreaking. Like, so you can go days of solid use, just have it on, it's charged, and you're just like, it just goes. So I'm excited about those. Those are a whole nother thing. I'm working on my own version of them. It's had a little ups and downs as DIY. I'm kind of trying some new boards that like I've been learning, how to do it. And let's see, what else is there? One thing that's really to get back to, how I got into this stuff and what the deal is all these DIY people, they all got slimes now, right? And they're like, wow, this is great. Like we, maybe we'd meet one each other and now and again, like, hey, you want to go like hang out private and just say hi, yeah, cool. And so we kind of started meeting each other in that little tight knit little DIY community. And I was like, we need to do a party. We need to bust a move. We need to like have some, SlimeVR. We got enough people. We got critical mass here. Let's go. So I set up, I started setting up little parties and little get-togethers and things like that, just to kind of bring people together and show off their trackers, because it's kind of fun. And one thing led to another, and I started noticing like, a lot of people having like trouble. Like, they're getting it, but they need help. And it just turned into like, well, I can just set up a regular helping meet, and just regularity sometimes help people know they can look forward to it and be like, there's a meetup, and hopefully somebody can help me with the tracking, and then they see my tracking. One of the things is I always like to show off the tracking and be like, this is what you're looking for. This is what you're trying to see. This is how it should be moving. And sometimes just that alone can provide like a level where people can aim for, like, so it can be this good. It's on me. It's a skill issue with me. And I just need to like, level up. And I'm there to like kind of help power level people now, basically. So, I get people in there and I do these calibration, calibrating chats. And basically we get a whole bunch of, slime people together and people that maybe don't have slimes and they just want to see what's up. And we go ahead and we go through the whole entire server. We kind of take a tour of all the best positions are, give my opinions about like what works, what doesn't work, what might work, because everybody's body's a little bit different. And so, I try and like provide a little bit of like specific, if your body's like this, maybe you want to try it over here and see if that will work better. And by a little bit of trial and error, we sort things out. And, I show people the optimal way to do the resets and how to do all the various, settings correctly. And it just kind of gets people a little quick started into the thing. And sometimes people, they want to follow a video, but maybe like the video isn't the way that they learn best, or maybe the text, in DMs in the tech support channel in the server isn't quite hitting it. They're just still not getting the idea. And sometimes that's where being in person really can bridge the gap and make people go, oh, okay. And then they ask a live question and they get the live response. And it turns out it was just this that needed to be fixed. And then they go, oh, now it's working. And for me, that's the rewarding part of it. I did this for like years, fully volunteer, because like it was just fun seeing people get the happy dance. They'd just be like, all of a sudden they just and they got the dance, they got the moves, they're busting a move, and I'm just like, this is what it's all about right here. This is what I'm talking about. This is what it's all about. And it just kind of keeps the energy high, and people get excited about it, and they want to tell their friends and show it off. And they'll be like, yeah, thanks for the help, Z. I got to go now, my friends. Never to be seen again, and they're just out there going down. Sometimes I get to see them again. Sometimes I see them again like 5 minutes later. Z, it's not working. And I'm just like, oh, did you remember to do the one part there? And they're like, oh, yeah, I forgot that part. And then they're like, yeah, okay, bye, thanks again. And they're out there. It's very common.
They grow up so fast.
Yeah, I like they do. They do. But yeah, so the events, one thing led to another, and then just to wrap that little bit up, I would say that once SlimeVR company is kind of, once they've gotten ahead of the pre-orders and to the point where people can just order slimes and get slimes, I think it's just going to be just way more exciting. I feel that's been maybe the slowdown in my fun, and I'm a little selfish about my fun. I teach everybody to have good tracking and stuff because it makes more fun for me. I get to see more people having fun, and so it increases overall happiness. So that's my goal.
No, fair enough. I mean, overall, that's why we're all here, right? To have fun. So kind of to go back into the origins a little bit. So with your channel, with how many videos you've done, based off slime and everything else, I would say, because you actually, and granted, I don't know if you have unlisted videos, so I don't know if this is correct, but it does look like your first video that's currently live on the channel was with the DIY MPU 6050s, which was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So going from that era, what kind of got you into content creation and actively making videos on everything that you've covered on? That was a weird way of phrasing it. Yeah, I know.
So no, I get where you're coming from. So for me, my YouTube channel was never exactly intended to be like a typical YouTuber channel. I made the decision right out of the gate not to use my voice. I wanted people to see the tracking rather than have some person blathering over it and whatever, this and that and the other thing. I was like, you know what? Why not we just let people see what there is on tap? And so just showing off the tracking with little quick videos of me having fun and showing my experience. It's more like a vlog, I would say, than any kind of other, it's snapshots of the fun that I've had in the past. And I always tell people when they see it, don't the experience that I show on the YouTube is nothing like it's the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that's happened and had fun and gone to events and done things, and you can't film it all. It's just too much to film. So it's just a little, this is so cool. I want more people to see it. And VR chat in itself is it's fun, but it's more fun with more people. And I always find that when I'm around a whole crowd of people and we got 3, 4, 5 different groups of people talking, but it's all just friends. There's something really neat about that, especially when they're all from around the world. This is one of the big connecting things that I think we have now that is, I don't want to say underutilized. It's beginning to. This is part of the process, is getting the full body tracking into here. When it really hits mainstream of everybody's got full body. Hopefully someday, however it works out. I think that will change the feeling of VR, because this is very much like an immersive environment, and the more immersed you get, the better it feels. So yeah, there's that. So as far as the channel goes and my making, I think of my channel as an art channel. It's very much I do it when I feel like I have something creative I want to express. Tutorials are useful, and I've done those just to help people like just have a visual. And everybody's got their own take on tutorials, and I even steered away from doing a DIY tutorial this whole time because there are people that are better at it than me in the community. Nethisem, basically, there's like, well, specifically, yeah, Adamant IT is an amazing YouTuber who I just want to throw a big shout out there, who made some DIY guides that are like professionally done, like the kind of thing where you're like, oh, yeah, there's no way I could ever done that good like that. That's somebody that does it for a living, that knows what they're doing, and they just like absolutely, I'm watching it, learning from it. So it's kind of where I pitch in where I can with my fun focus, because I feel like that's what my best thing is interfacing, networking, showing off the fun. Maybe now and again a tutorial real quick just to help things push along. My ultimate goal though is that tutorials hopefully shouldn't have to be necessary, that everything should just be easy in flow of the Slime server, where you just go through it and it just takes, and that's in the works. That's actually right now. One of the other exciting things is better onboarding is in the works. So it'll make it real easy for people to just like select what they want to do and get set up for it, and then just get to the fun.
No, absolutely.
So, yeah.
So I guess kind of to go a little bit more into the topic with the channel itself, because I did a little bit of research before we started recording. So because it's been over a year since you've done this one, and granted, I didn't have time to look at all the videos. I'm going to flat out say there's a lot of videos. There's quite literally, and I'm not joking. As we're recording this, there's literally 420 videos on the channel, but. That's no joke. I mean, I'll throw a screenshot on the screen. But so
a little bit hype.
Yeah,
I'll cop to it. I'm a little bit hype about SlimeVR.
Yeah. So because your most popular video on the channel was actually with 112,000 views, the SlimeVR versus MapleMoose and Haritora X 1.0. So as it's been a year since then, have you ever thought about doing another like comparison between tracking?
I have been asked about that quite a number of times. Currently, the biggest one is, can you compare slimes versus Vives? And as I do not have Vives, I haven't been able to do that properly. So, maybe in the near future at some point, when I have a better setup for it, I might try Vives on, at least to, temporarily, and then I might sell them, because I got slimes, I'm good. But, just for the comparison, Haritora X and MapleMoose, here's a funny thing, is I think both of them have improved, and Slime has also improved. That video, that old comparison video, the funny part was about that is actually, it's not a good comparison, and I will be 100% blunt about that. It was a quick one that I did because people were like, I want to see, just basically what's the differences. And so I went to Haritora and saw that they had that little video, and I fair use, just to show their tracking, what they were showing of their comparison against Slime. And so it's not a direct comparison of me using all of those. It was a little bit of movie magic, shall we say, but also just the best we could do at that point. There simply wasn't enough footage out there. And this is the case sometimes with a lot of these things, is, even with the MapleMoose, comparing MapleMoose footage to my own footage, I did a little bit of that, using a little bit of Thrill Seekers video. That was what we had available to try, so like it's kind of trying to make it work, but I'm not trying to give an excuse for it, but I would honestly say that like I will probably need to do a better one at some point, or someone. It's definitely an open field out there, and that's one of the things I want to encourage is like people to actually make more content, because it's fun. It actually is fun. It's a little bit of work, but it's rewarding. And when I see other people doing like their first review videos of slime, I'm always like, let me see what's going on here. What you got? How's your tracking? Did you actually are you doing it right? Can't help it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's always good. I'm gonna knock on wood here. It's always good when there's more content being developed. if it's good content. I'm gonna be a preacher when I say this. It's got to be valuable content, not the like harmful content that a lot of people see on YouTube or TikTok, whatever the case may be. It's definitely like we need more of a, I don't want to call it mature content to say the least, but more showcasing what this platform and what these communities and etc. do, like like SlimeVR or big event organizations. Show what actually happens, when it comes to VR chat. I mean, that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I made the podcast. And I know I've said this probably in like 50 fucking episodes at this point, even though this is episode 47. But it's true though. Like realistically, there's not enough covering all the sides of VR chat when it comes to the community sides and the creator sides, which is one of the reasons why some of the podcasts that you see, like my own and Metaverse Degen and a few others, that's why we love covering this stuff, because people are passionate about what they do. Because at the end of the day, we're all just people. We do cool stuff.
Exactly. So like one of the things I'll just throw in there with is I came at it too with the events. The events that I throw are kind of unique to me because I do the stuff that I like. I'm kind of I know what I like in VR. And so like I set up regular yoga sessions on Mondays and we just do yoga and stretching. And that was kind of for one, it's a good way to test your trackers. You just got trackers, you want to see what they can do. Well, yoga puts you into all of the different poses. You can try everything. And you can compare it to somebody that does VR yoga, myself and other people that are like good at it there. And then it's like, and have good tracker setups. And that can be like a real, it's sort of a hidden way to find out what your tracking level is at. And I help people afterwards. We go to do a little tech support, or just in the flow, it'd be like, oh, I can fix you up. And it's kind of a helpful. The community throws in. I always like to put that out there. Is that like this is all building on everybody's contributions. It's a massive hive mind of everybody wants low cost FBT, and we're all going to work together and help each other to get the best tracking we can get. And I mean, it really is an exciting thing for me because you don't often see movements of people that are very smart but also very creative, all moving in the same way, kind of like school of fish, like everybody's just going together and going, yeah, this is what we're going this way, now we're going this way, we're going to try and make it better. And it's really neat. It's a very cool, like the community itself have grasped onto this so hard, and I just love seeing when new people come in and they just realize, oh, this is my tribe. This is where everybody is. Like, we're all doing the thing. We're trying all these different projects. We're mixing every kind of tracking solution together that exists. And, like cutting edge combined with, can I use my Connect with slimes? Like it's all over the place. It's every which way. I'd say that the other events that I like to throw, like graffiti events, they're really fun in the sense that, like, we'll start the event, we got some cool music playing, and we just go up and, like, people chat a little bit, and then all of a sudden you'll just hear this, like, it's quiet except for the sounds of spray cans. And you just hear and it's everybody's working, everybody's like full brain activation, all neurons activate, and you get this amazing art at the end that everybody can just stand there and go, wow, this looks cool. It's like it opens up, it makes the whole process of I've got full body and I'm actually in VR and I'm actually doing something. It's the whole sandwich, it's the whole thing. You get it's a full meal. And I feel like that at the end of it makes it feel better to actually go in. I'm a mission focused kind of person. I like to go in. Like, I don't often hang out in VR chat. Like how typically you just like you'd hang out. You just be like, I got 5 hours and nothing to do. I'm just gonna vibe. And I'm over here like going like, if I'm going into VR, I'm gonna be like doing something. I'm gonna be like visiting worlds. I'm gonna be visiting a friend. I'm gonna be like doing dance. I'm gonna be doing a yoga session. I'll be doing some kind of event, something that's like I come out of it going, wow, that was an experience. I actually got something out of it.
Hello, everyone. Just want to pause the episode real quick. I want to thank you all so much for watching this far. If you are interested in doing some of the events and other things that are up and coming, make sure to join the VRC group, the Noved Squad VRC group at NOVED.6608. as well as go check out some of my other socials. We have Blue Sky, Twitter, all that type of stuff. So make sure you go check all that out. Want to thank you all so much for watching. Let's get back into the episode. Woo! Well, yeah, no, absolutely. And in the regards of having events that make you have that experience, it's definitely one of the better things, at least in my opinion, when it comes to VR chat, because you have your dance performances, you have your music, festivals, your community showcases, community festivals. I mean, there's so many different types of big events when it comes to VR chat. Which actually kind of
really are.
Yeah, no, for sure. But kind of going into that a little bit, because you have held quite a numerous events when it comes to the SlimeVR community. So what type of, for like the general listening audience, what type of events do you do with the SlimeVR community?
Well, we have regular events that I hold every week. Mondays we do yoga. My time zone is a little rough for people because I'm in Hawaii, but I like to do yoga in the morning, so I set it up for my time in the morning, which sometimes is 2 a.m. in the morning for other people. But yeah, but yoga is regular Mondays, and it's about 45-minute to an hour long. We just do stretches and kind of just hang out and talk, chat. It's a very informal thing. People think it's going to be really super formal. I just lead people through a bunch of different easygoing moves. And all are welcome. These are the type of events where you can come check it out. Like it's for everybody to kind of come and check it out and see. Then I do the tech support and chat, or calibrate and chat, depending on which week they alternate. And tech support and chat is like you can show up and you can just show me your problem. And I kind of expect that you've maybe come to a previous event and you've gotten already kind of your sense of things, and you're just trying to sort out a little issue or something's happened that you're like, I can improve this tracking. And it's more chatting and technical support, but also like, what's new, what's happening, what's the news in the SlimeVR world, what kind of things should you expect to come up. And then the Calibrate and Chat events, which are every other Friday, those are regular events that I take through all the people there. We go through the server, the SlimeVR server, and I explain what it does. I explain all the different, various portions of it, and, provide optimization tips, placements for the trackers that I found worked well. All the various little tips and tricks that I can, throw at people, I bring them up. And then at the end that we do, assuming that there's usually most people will get their stuff sorted out by the end, but usually there's maybe one or two people that are going, it's still not working for me. What do I do? And for them, I'll just we'll go to a cool chill world, like a beach world or something. We just sit there and we just kind of work it through. We just ask questions, try this, put on the same avatar maybe to see if there's some similarities, differences. And I'll just in just the recent times, it's so fun to see people go, oh, I just had this one toggle that needed to be changed in VR chat. It needed to be on height rather than wingspan specifically. And once they got that sorted out, immediately resolved their issues, and they're like, oh, this works great now, this is awesome. And so that kind of thing. And there's irregular events, which I throw on a random basis. Usually there's about a day or two of warning. And those will be like graffiti events, music events, where, we just play music, we hang out, chat, chill out and chat. There's been movie events. There's been martial arts warm-up events. Those are very intense. Those are very, very intense. Trust me. People wear out on those. The dancing events are pretty regular. I try and do them about once a week, but it depends on how I'm feeling, what things are going on, and the level of busyness, because sometimes people need help more than they need to go dance. It's no fun to be like, oh yeah, everybody looks like they're having fun dancing, but I'm still having bad tracking. So I try and sort out, and recently a lot of orders have been coming through, so it's been more technical support chat type stuff, getting DMs every day about I need help, and and getting through that. Once people are through that, then they can have fun, then the party time starts. And so yeah, then there's graffiti events that I throw. Those I've mentioned, those are really fun, just making art together. There's game events that we do where we just go to the various game worlds in VR chat and just zip around on mini carts, and all that fun stuff. And there's Magic Arena game stuff, other things like that. And mini golf. Mini golf was a fun one too, because everybody's kind of in a chill environment. We're all just kind of putting, doing stuff, and kind of just relating. And so that's a real nice community event. And God, there's a lot there. Yeah, we've done a lot of different stuff. I mean, I've thrown hundreds of events now, so like it all kind of turns into one big fun. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. And then, of course, showing off tracking is like one of the big things, and showing off avatars too. So I've even done avatar fashion show kind of stuff, because like everybody wants to show off their cool avatar in full body. That's what you got it for. You paid for the full body. You're going to use all the full body. That's how we do it.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, and then just networking. Like a lot of times, there's a lot of people in the VR community that stop in and check me out, and just like want to hear what's the news, and I'm always happy to oblige and just be like, wow, I'm running this new beta test server. It's kind of fun, we got progress on this, we got progress on that, and it's good, it kind of keeps things moving, keeps the excitement level high. And yeah, I guess I mean, I'm just excited. I'm hyped for Slime. I mean, the 400 and odd plus videos. Yeah, it is a lot more because I do have a lot of those privated. But see, the funny part is like I started making videos and then I realized this isn't like super hard to do. But like the fun really is getting people having good tracking. So like sometimes I'm like, I haven't posted on my YouTube for a long time, but like I've helped like dozens of people in the meantime that could have been sitting there, editing a video, but like sometimes it's more important to just get people to have good tracking, and that's kind of my priority.
No,
So,
absolutely. That's fair. Yeah. And it's definitely a crazy thing to think about because, I mean, realistically, with how many events you've held, I mean, shoot, there's probably a giant ballpark number of how many people you have assisted when it comes to like calibration and stuff.
Oh, it's got to be a lot. I couldn't even tell you. Like, yeah, I couldn't even. Yeah, it's been so many people, and they're such wonderful people too. Because that's the funny part is when people come to these events, they're kind of a good feeling, good vibe. Everybody just is working together, so we get like a real community feeling out of it, which is really nice. Like it's a shared hobby interest, thing that everybody's like kind of getting excited about. So being right in the middle of it, I feel blessed. I feel like absolutely blessed up.
Oh, for sure.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be in one of the community in this type of community, and then also be able to like be actively involved in it, and see things propel forward, and good stuff.
So I guess kind of to go into that a little bit, because you weren't always the community manager. So what kind of what was the timeline from like you making these videos to you becoming the community manager of the SlimeVR community?
It was kind of informal for the first couple of years, I would say. Like for 2.5 years, I just did it because I loved it, and this is like my passion project, and I just wanted to do it. And so, threw in a massive amount of time and felt rewarded for it just on that alone. Like no profit intent, nothing like that. Just literally, this is my community. This Slime Gang is my, this gang here. This is the people I want to help. And at a certain point, Slime Company, Aaron saw this, and it was like, there was actually a little backstory. Is I was almost going to go back to just work a normal 9-to-5 job and make that bag, make the money. And it would have pretty much like stopped what I was doing here, like kind of more or less completely like, well, now, maybe I'll see y'all on the weekends, I don't know. And it was kind of like, well, if I have to, I will, but I kind of have to because I need to pay the bills. And I got the job offer, and it was like, wait, I've got a job that will make a lot of money, but, will take up all of my time. I won't have any time for really hobbies anymore. Or I go to the turbo hobby, which I enjoy doing anyway, and I love this experience and the people and the whole thing, and like it was a no-brainer. It was like, absolutely, what can I do to help? And I just try and throw in what I can. I help with the support, I help with the the events and the community management, and I was already a moderator before this all happened in the Discord, and that was like, I'm really on, I try and be on that as much as possible, given that it's a Discord with like it's 40,000 more, 45,000, I don't even know, it's gotten so, it's an enormous amount. Very big server. But yeah, just doing all of this stuff kind of turned into a dream job, amazingly enough. And I'm grateful for everything I've gotten from SlimeVR, because like at a certain point with my DIY slimes, I was having a real hard time with them. Like, not gonna lie, they were falling apart. And every time I'd do an event, I had to have 2 or 3 slimes, kind of extra, just backups, because stuff would break as I was dancing or whatever. And it was, I was kind of noting this, and it was like, Aaron asked me, are you, what shipment are you in? And I'm like, oh, I'm in shipment 3. And that was one of the shipments that got really delayed. It got actually sent back. It was like a real whole thing. And there was no likelihood of it getting through for any time soon. And Aaron was like, I'm gonna send you an address. Give me your address. I'm gonna send you a set right now, and just straight up sent me a set. And I'm so grateful for that, because it was the first like swag that I got out of this whole thing. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting free slimes. Like, it's kind of a meme, like free slimes, but like free slimes, actual, wow, free slimes. And so I got that, and I made a review video out of it, and I saw some things that needed to be improved and this and that and the other. And it was like a really good experience for me to just like actually have the real slimes, because it increased my hype so much, because I actually had the real ones, and could give a real, hands-on. Like, people would come in, they'd be like, oh, you've got the officials. Yeah, I've got the officials. This is what, I'm using them right now, actually. Like right now, I'm using them. So yeah, it kind of became something where, getting into that job has kind of made it more like I'm invested. I like this. I want this to succeed. This whole project has like been such a just skyrocketing. Just you see that if it was a graph, it's just hitting its to the moon. Basically, it's amazing. I'm so excited to see it like get bigger and bigger, and I want to be a bigger part of that too. I feel like this is like one of those things that everybody that gets exposed to it and goes, oh, I never heard of SlimeVR before, like, I want them to be aware of it and just at least like know, oh, there's an option there, because this is, to me, like one of the best things about VR right now is getting full body and being fully able to have the legs and the movement and do the thing. So yeah. I hope you see more of me, and I hope I see more of you with full body.
No, absolutely. And kind of to go into the more personal aspect of things. So you've like you said, it was however you said, what, 40 some odd thousand people in the community, or at least in the Discord side of things. So I guess one of the questions I want to ask in that regard, like, what are some things that you've noticed going into it? Because obviously, going from a content creator standpoint to now working with SlimeVR, what were some of the things that you noticed going into it that may have changed since you started? Like, what are some changes you have made from the community manager side? That's the question I was going to ask.
Oh, okay. So from that side, I would say there's like a level of just being there for the community. Like when I do these events, it's kind of a funny one. I friend up everybody that shows up. For one, that lets me see that they've been at an event. People sometimes are like, can I friend you? Not in, just from DMs and stuff. And I'm like, just come meet me, come say hi, like I'm a friendly sort, and then it gives me something to connect to. I hear if I do hear their voice, if they're mute, that's fine. But if I hear the voice, I see the avatar, I have like a connection. And meeting everybody in the community, like, as if they come to the events and I see them, it establishes a continuity of our culture, our SlimeVR culture. And that's kind of a DIY culture. For one, it's help each other. If you have problems or there's a speculate, if you know something, speak up. Like, if you think you can fix it, speak up. I'm not shy to say like, I don't actually have vibes. I can't help you with how to mix the vibes and slimes, but I do know someone who does, or something along those lines, where the connection needs to be made to the right person. I think that's one of the big things I do. Is when people come into the server, I kind of almost act like a guidepost, because I know a lot about where people need to go, where they need to be directed, maybe give them the input, they need a specific help. I can usually either help them directly or show them who to ping to get the help from. A specific example of that would be mocap. Motion capture is a whole subject on its own. I'm not going to be claiming to be any kind of expert on it. I have experimented a lot with it with slimes, but I haven't really learned Unreal Engine. Am I an Unreal Engine mocap expert? Absolutely not. But I know people that do that. So I link people in, and then, they'll be like, oh yeah, that helped me out, and they got me the right tutorial and this and that. And it gets people faster. Like the thing is, I like to optimize. When people come in, I want to get them up to speed as fast as possible. If you're a developer and, you saw this little bouncing around, funny little, furry avatar on the YouTube and the Z something or other, and then you drop in on the server and you happen to have some mad coding skills, like I'll be probably in the server there going, oh, you're going to want to check out this development channel. Oh, you're going to want to talk with that person about that idea that you're having. And then all of a sudden they're linked in, and then things kind of, the cogs spin and things link in, and then suddenly there's like, oh, there's a brand new beta test that's got this great new feature. So for me, it's a little bit like just trying to get the right the pieces of the puzzle in the right places. And I enjoy it. I enjoy the process of, like, because sometimes people come in and they just want the slimes, and they just, I got my slimes, okay, they're working, and then you never hear from them again. But a lot of people join, and they see that this is a vibrant, active community of creators. There's a huge 3D printing community. They do all kinds of stuff, and they're, constantly improving and, redesigning their printers and doing all kinds of stuff. There's avatar creation channel, where, like, 3D creation channel. I should be clear. And because it broadened to world creation. And that's, like, helpful for avatar makers that they need help. There's, like, some absolute geniuses at, like, this stuff, and they're willing to help. And it's across the board. It's like that stuff kind of permeates the whole culture. Help each other. And I'm trying to be polite and trying to respect. I want to just draw that one big thing is I try and teach. Part of it is a culture of respect. Like, you made it this far, like, respect. You got into the VR, you made your own trackers, or you just got the trackers, but you're willing to learn how. Respect, like, that is something that takes a little bit of, fortune favors the bold. So I always feel like when people are working on their own, trying to fix their tracking, and they don't take the help that's offered from an entire amazing community, I'm like, you are missing out. You really should come check this out. Because, like, even when we're just having fun and I'm doing middle graffiti and I'm doing some art or something, and somebody's like, Z, I need help. Something's wrong with my tracking, and I'll stop and I'll just be like, let me take a look. What you got here? What is this scrunkled mess that I am looking at? What did you do wrong? Like, I don't know what I did wrong. I did something wrong. Something happened, and now it's all like this. And I'm like, okay, let's back it up. Try this, try that, and then it usually fixes up. In a short order, and then I'm back to spray painting, having fun, and then they're also having fun. They're over there spray painting, having fun with me, and that's the community aspect of it. People remember when you help them, they remember you, and I like being a person that helps. So, and it's just like part of my personality. I feel like it's a place that I can contribute in my own unique way.
No, absolutely.
And I like to yap a lot, and I like to yap a lot. So,
that's all
that
good.
helps.
Yeah. So I guess kind of to go into the future things, since we talked a lot about the what you do now and all that. Because we are running a little bit out of time, but I do want to cover a few more things.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, actually, I'll ask this funny question first, because you had mentioned, helping people with stuff. So how many times since you've, like, made it more official, or before then, how many times have you told people have you tried turning it off and on again?
Oh.
I had
like, just today? You mean all, like, how many times today, or like overall? Because, like, it's every single day, every day. Try turning. Oh man, yeah, that's too real. Sore spot. So real. It is actually. It's funny. It's funny when people come in, and this has happened quite a number of times. Is where people come into the server and they'll be like, "I need help," but they won't provide any information. Like, just no information, just only help, only fix, no info. So, like, it's just everything's not working, nothing's working, and I've tried everything, and we're like, well, that can't be true. Like, maybe nothing's working's true, but, like, you haven't tried everything, because like we're here and we're like, you didn't try this, try this, try this, try this, so yeah, have you tried it turning it off and on? Oh yeah, no, try that first. 5 minutes later, it's working now. We're all like, yeah, that's the magic. That's the magic of turn off, turn on. We all we don't question it. We don't question it. It just works.
No, for sure. Funny enough aside. So I guess one of the things I do want to touch base on, because as we've already now, as this episode's airing, we're already getting into 2025. I guess one of the questions I do want to ask, of course, if you're allowed to, what is some of the things that people can look forward to when it comes to SlimeVR, when it comes to the upcoming year in 2025?
Oh boy. Okay, so for SlimeVR Official, they're going to be done with the pre-orders. That will be basically a thing of the past. You'll be able to order slimes and get them like right away. They'll be sent out on a fast basis rather than a waiting in line basis. On the tech side, the SlimeVR server will be getting upgraded. So even if you haven't gotten your slimes yet and you're about to get them, soon, by next year, there will be new server versions that are improved, in various ways, tracking, etc., less drift, etc. So that's exciting. There will be small slimes. SlimeVR Official's actually been working on a whole bunch of stuff that I can't reveal, but they will be revealing it, and there will be some big announcements about that when that's ripe. And as far as the small slimes, there's been some images posted. Aaron's posted a few things about it, but those will be in the works, and hopefully at some point, once that's available, we'll all be able to experience even better versions of slimes in the future. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff. Events, there's going to be all kinds of new events next year. More people joining have been asking to do their own events, so we're going to be increasing the number of events and the variety of events as well. So I've been making some event coordinators and kind of working with people, and people have seen what I've done and they're like, I want to try that, I want to do that too, and I'm like, all right, you can try it, but you're gonna need to learn a little bit first, just how to do it. And they're learning fast. People learn fast when they're motivated. So yeah,
absolutely. No, definitely some amazing stuff when it comes to slimes, and definitely looking forward to seeing, the future of SlimeVR and more things from you as things, progress and whatnot. So I guess, kind of one of the final things I wanted to ask in that regard. So obviously we talked about the future of SlimeVR, but more into the personal side of things, what are some things we can expect from you when it comes to the upcoming year in 2025? Any little things you could sneak peek or anything?
Okay. Well, okay. I'm always interested in new tech and stuff like that. I have been asked to be testing some, I can't talk about it, slimes, but they basically will be next generation type of slimes. As soon as I'm able to talk about that stuff freely, there will be some hints about it early in the year, but as things go on and I actually get to set, I'll be able to actually demonstrate them and show off the new stuff. As far as videos and things like that, I am going to be working on quite a number of different, I have several different projects. One of them is a mocap video guide showing how to do mocap. That's been held off a little bit because there's going to be new onboarding in the SlimeVR server that will make that far easier. Like doing it now with the way the server is now, it would be okay, but it would become obsolete quite soon. Not to hold off on it completely. I always help people out, and there are videos, tutorials on how to do this stuff. They're just a little bit dated. They could be updated. That kind of thing. Things are changing. Things change fast. And then also, just more music, more fun, more everything. I'm gonna be this, kind of just doing what I do. It's the live experience of the Z-Rock is kind of like more fun in some ways than just watching the videos. So as far as the YouTube goes, I will be putting out videos, but I'm always here. I'm always every day I come on, I check things out, I see what's happening. Stay interested, stay curious. And that's the best thing I can tell everybody out there in the audience is, find out more about this if you're curious. There will be plenty of links. I'm sure Noved will be posting all this stuff for everybody to see in the video links. And come check it out.
Well, you already.
And thank you so much, Noved, for having me here. I really want to say that.
You're already taking away my outro, bro. Well, fucking damn it. Well, since you're already in the topic, So kind of let the audience know where they can find Joe, where they can find all the SlimeVR stuff, any links on screen in the descriptions and stuff. Let them know what's up. Go ahead. You know what to do. I don't gotta explain to you.
I'm on YouTube. If you look up my name, xCirrex35, you'll see my YouTube channel has tons of videos, all kinds of content, this and that, everything. A lot of music. It's mostly music. I'll tell you that now. I'm also available in the SlimeVR Discord, and my DMs are pretty open, but if I'm offline, I'm asleep. So yeah, pick your timing. And then I do have a couple other social medias, but Blue Sky, the SlimeVR Blue Sky is one that you should check out as well. It's got all kinds of info. It shows, what we're up to. And the people at Slime Cave post a lot of stuff too, which is really neat. And then on top of that, yeah, that's about it. I mean, check me out. Like, subscribe, bash on the bell, do all that stuff. However they do it.
Fair. Well, no, dude, it's been good to kind of get to know you, and it definitely did not feel pretty close to an hour, to be real with you. It's one of those episodes that
felt very short.
Granted, there was right as the mid-roll hit is right when I crashed. So there was a little tech issues on my end, but that's okay. Tech issues happen. We live and learn. We move on. But
it's my job.
Yeah. Right. But no, thank you again for coming on the podcast. It was good to get to know you and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, this is fun. But of course, ladies, gentlemen, everybody inside and outside the ballpark, that has been it for episode 47. Yes, 47 of the podcast. I do want to thank you all so much for listening, watching, depending on what platform you're on. Of course, as Zivak already kind of said, make sure if you enjoyed what we talked about, make sure to go follow all Zivak socials, and as well hit that like button down below. And of course, if you're already coming back to check out some of the other episodes, why not hit that subscribe button? You're already coming back anyway, or the follow button.
It's right there.
Or the follow button, depending on the platform.
Yeah,
it's somewhere on somewhere around here. It depends on what platform you're on. But of course, I want to thank you all so much once again for watching, listening. Once again, depending on what platform you're on, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care and peace. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to NovedPlayer.